In the glitzy, high-stakes world of Hollywood, where fortunes can be made with a single hit movie, the issue of fair pay and salary disparities has long been a contentious battleground. A few stories illustrate this better than John Leguizamo's revelation about turning down a role in the 2005 blockbuster Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a decision driven by the staggering $20 million paycheck secured by its A-list stars, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. It was a move that spoke volumes about the Latino actor's principles and his refusal to be complicit in an industry that has historically undervalued and underpaid performers of color. By walking away from what could have been a career-defining role, Leguizamo shined a harsh spotlight on the pay gap that continues to plague Hollywood to this day. The story began in the early 2010s when Leguizamo, fresh off critical acclaim for his one-man shows like Freak and Sexaholics, was approached to play a supporting role in the action comedy Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The film, which would eventually become a global box office smash, centered around a married couple who were secretly hired as assassins to kill each other. For Leguizamo, the opportunity to share the screen with heavyweight talents like Pitt and Jolie should have been a dream come true. Not only were they two of the biggest movie stars on the planet, but the film's high-concept premise and the involvement of director Doug Liman made it a surefire hit in the making. But as negotiations began, Leguizamo was taken aback by the sheer disparity between what he was being offered and the eye-watering $20 million salaries that had been secured by his would-be co-stars. In a candid interview, the actor didn't mince words about his decision to walk away. "I got offered a role in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but I turned it down because Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were getting $20 million each," Leguizamo revealed. "And I was only being offered a fraction of that, like a tenth of what they were getting. It just didn't make sense to me." The numbers were indeed staggering. While $20 million paydays were not unheard of for A-listers like Pitt and Jolie, whose mere presence in a film could all but guarantee its commercial success, Leguizamo's paltry offer paled in comparison, and for an actor of his caliber and acclaim, it felt like a slap in the face. "I just couldn't bring myself to be a part of something that was so blatantly unfair," he continued. "It's not like I was some unknown actor fresh out of drama school. I had put in the work, built a respected body of work, and proven myself time and time again. But the industry still saw me as a second-class citizen, not worthy of equal pay." Leguizamo's stance was a bold one, especially in an industry where even the most successful actors of color have historically struggled to command the same salaries as their white counterparts. By turning down a high-profile project over a matter of principle, he was risking his own career prospects and financial security. But for the fiery New York native, it was a sacrifice he was willing to make in order to take a stand against the systemic pay disparities that have long plagued Hollywood. Because as he saw it, accepting such a paltry offer would have been tantamount to validating and perpetuating a broken system. "It's not just about the money, although that's a big part of it," Leguizamo explained. "It's about respect and about being valued for the work you put in and the talent you bring to the table. If I had taken that role, it would have sent the message that I was okay with being treated like a second-class citizen in my own industry." In the years since, Leguizamo's principled stance has only grown more poignant and relevant as the entertainment industry has faced a long overdue reckoning over issues of representation, inclusion, and fair pay. From the #OscarsSoWhite controversy to the revelations about rampant pay disparities between male and female co-stars, the systemic biases that Leguizamo railed against have been thrust into the national spotlight. And while progress has undoubtedly been made, with more actors of color and women demanding and receiving equal pay for equal work, the battle is far from over. Just last year, Leguizamo himself called out the producers of the Broadway revival of Kiss My Aztec for attempting to lowball him on his salary, citing the same issues of disrespect and undervaluation that led him to turn down Mr. and Mrs. Smith nearly 2 decades prior. "It's like we're still fighting the same battles, having the same conversations," Leguizamo lamented. How is it that in 2023, I'm still having to justify my worth and demand to be paid fairly for my talents? For many in the industry, Leguizamo's unwavering stance on the Mr. and Mrs. Smith offer has become a rallying cry and a reminder of the sacrifices that must be made to dismantle the entrenched systems of inequality that have long plagued Hollywood. Because as the actor himself has said, true change will only come when those with leverage and privilege are willing to put their money where their mouth is, literally. Look, I get it. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were the biggest stars in the world at that time, Leguizamo conceded. But that doesn't mean the rest of us should be treated like second-class citizens. We're all professionals, we all put in the work, and we all deserve to be compensated fairly for our talents and our contributions. In many ways, Leguizamo's decision to walk away from Mr. and Mrs. Smith was a watershed moment that exposed the deep-rooted pay disparities that have long plagued the entertainment industry. By taking a stand and refusing to be complicit in a system that devalued his worth as an actor of color, he sent a powerful message that reverberated far beyond the confines of that single project. And while the battle for true pay equity in Hollywood is far from over, Leguizamo's principled stance serves as a reminder that real change often begins with the courage to say no, even when the financial temptation is great. Because in an industry built on the illusion of fame and fortune, sometimes the most powerful statement is the one that values integrity over a paycheck.